Hello everybody and welcome back to the Morehammer podcast, your weekly podcast where we talk all things Warhammer and occasionally some wargaming as well. So this week I'm your host, wargamingluke. I am also joined by my usual co-hosts, Simon, aka Hobby Waffle, and Ben, aka 90% Geek. How are we doing, boys?
Yeah, all good, thank you very much.
It is hot and humid, like a gorilla's underwear in here.
Yeah, unfortunately in the UK we don't get normal summers here.
No.
We just get terrible rainy winters, cold rainy winters, and humid summers. So
With
I'm still drinking a hot cup of tea.
autumn.
yeah, literally. Sadly, so yeah, we are boiling. So I apologise, guys, if you can't see me as well this week. I haven't got my usual light on, but it lets off a lot of heat, and I refuse to put it on. It's just too hot. But yeah, we will crack on. We'll get into it. We've got some lovely stuff to talk about this week. And some nice new surprises again, so that'll carry us through. But before we do get into our topics this week, guys, as always, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. Usually it's the same with most channels across YouTube, to be fair. Most people won't realise, but most people that are watching probably won't be subscribed. So make sure you are hitting the subscribe button, hitting that notification bell, so you know when new episodes drop. And same over on Spotify. If you're listening to us over there, guys, we're also available over there. You can follow us there, leave nice reviews for us and things like that. That'd be very nice of you. But other than that, join us over on our Discord channel as well. The link is in the description below for that. It'd be lovely to see some new faces over there, giving Warhammer Wargaming chat throughout the week, or just any sort of chat, to be fair. Throughout the Euros, we were chatting football on there as well, and all sorts. So, yeah, do join us over there, guys.
Full-on chat going on there today. It's been a lot of topics going on there today. It's
Yeah.
been really busy.
Yeah, it's been good. But yeah, make sure to join us on all of those, guys. But other than that, we're straight into, Ben, what is it time for?
And now the news.
Lovely stuff. I love our Simon cues for it as well. I love that.
Yeah.
It's great.
I'm waiting for Si to lip sync with me sometime.
Yeah, it's good. It all adds into
I do
it now.
find
It's
myself
brilliant.
doing that sometimes, actually.
It's good. But yeah, guys, there is one main topic to talk about this week. There's a couple of other things we could have brought in, but we do have plenty of community questions to get to this week as well that we want to do. So the main one for this week we will talk about is Blood Angels got revealed. And I think a lot more coming and revealed already than we thought there would be for Blood Angels, maybe?
Yeah.
So quite exciting. I mean, obviously, new codex coming, or codex supplement coming. And the main other thing that was revealed is this big new battalion box set.
Yeah.
Containing
They seem to be
multitude of
following
things.
the pattern they've done with all the previous ones, don't they? Where there's an army box that comes first.
Yes.
You get a limited edition codex. In this case, it's a supplement, but and then the first chance to get the new miniatures are in these boxes. And this time it's 2 miniatures as well, isn't it?
2 special
Yes,
characters, and then I think 2 10-man squads and a Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Nice artwork on this box as well. Quite like that.
Yeah, that is
Very
really cool.
Mm.
It reminds me of, wasn't there a Blood Angels series on Warhammer Plus?
Yeah.
And it's
yes,
I
the
can't remember what it's called.
same artwork style.
Angels of Death.
That was it.
Yeah,
Angels of
that
Death.
kind of monochrome except for red, so black and white
Yes,
and red.
does give those vibes, doesn't it? Actually, when you think about it. Also, we'll drop back to what can come later after we've looked through some of the models. But the first of which, we've got
Lemartes,
the Chaplain
Guardian of the
Lemartes.
Lost.
Yeah,
He's very
resculpt.
excitable.
He's very excitable. A
Before
lot
we
of people joking about this model throughout the day.
before we get silly and talk about the mask, I think we should properly give credit to the miniature, because I think it is a really nice miniature.
It is a nice miniature.
I like the pose. You know, it's almost like a "come at me, bro" pose, isn't it? Either that, or he's just landed on his jump pack, ready to smash.
You
some
wouldn't want to
people
mess
in.
with him. He looks like a right psycho, doesn't he? Let's be honest. Like.
I suppose it's a different take on Lemartes. Like, this is, I think, the third Lemartes model they've released.
It is, yeah. We had the first one where it's like he's really leaning forward into a sprint.
He was kind
isn't
of-
I remember. That's the one I remember. Yeah.
Well, that's
And
the
then we
first
had the-
one. He was kind of hunched over with the croziers held over his head.
Yeah, and he had like the spiky helmet, didn't
Yeah.
he? He had like stars coming off his halo.
Yeah.
And then we had the jump pack one where he's either just landing or taking off with
And
his
he's got
little
a-
bone toes.
Crozius in one hand and the Grail held in the other, held down by his side, which I think is my favourite.
And then we've got this one, and to be honest, I actually really like this pose. I think it's quite menacing. I like the scenic base as well.
It's dynamic without making use of a tactical rock, which is nice.
Yeah, and it's nice to
No
see.
tactical rock or smoke.
Yeah, no smoke, no tactical rock, no
Maybe they're on their
balancing on some
holidays.
random piece of terrain, and it's nice to see a Primaris Star jump pack with those silly boosters on the back of his legs as well.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah,
And it doesn't sort of state it, but presumably this is Primaris Lamarty's. He's got the Primaris style greaves and knee plates, and it's Primaris style armor, isn't it? I saw a couple of people arguing today, like, why is he crossing the Rubicon? You know, why are they wasting it on someone like Lamarty's? But this is the guy that's in control of the Black Rage, isn't he?
He's the guardian of the Lost.
Who else? You know, he's probably the best person to be testing it on. Hang on, if we can send a nutcase like him over the Rubicon and he survives, then we're halfway there. I really like that.
My favourite part about it is, like we've touched on already, just that it really, although people have taken the mick a bit out of the face sculpt, I do actually quite like it because it makes him look more crazy and menacing, which is what he should be. It's not easy to do with models with that, like just a skull, to be fair, so I give him that.
I've just actually noticed as well, these Crozius has got a grail built into it. That's awesome.
The previous one did as well. The Crozius,
I didn't think I thought they'd skipped it on this one. I totally missed it this afternoon.
Playing devil's advocate to your earlier point, Si, I suppose there is an argument of this could have been the ideal opportunity for them to create a new Primaris Chaplain Death Company character.
Yeah.
Instead of making Lamarty's cross the Rubicon. I mean, I know why they've done it because they want to discontinue the Finecast model. And yeah, the less Finecast there is in the world, the better. But there is an argument of this could have been the opportunity to create a new Primaris Chaplain character.
Yeah, like
rather than
Lazarus of the Dark Angels.
Yeah.
Pun not intended.
I do like though now how they've like upgraded most of your general like HQ choices to Primaris now. So now they're able to move on to like the named characters and upgrade them. I'm interested to see what they do with other characters now.
I would expect to see a Primaris Sanguinary Priest, if not Corbulo himself.
That'd be cool.
Gabriel Seth would be a good one for the Flesh Terrors as well. That would be an awesome upgrade.
Yeah.
Oh god, the Primaris. I mean, to be fair, you could probably make an awesome Primaris Gabriel Seth out of the Ragnar Black.
Yeah.
Because they've got that same kind of lunging dynamism to them.
And we're about to see an Eviscerator as well in the upgrade sprue.
Exactly.
Indeed.
There's the Grail.
Astoras as well.
I mean,
another one of the big minis.
Yeah, it's really just the same model in Primaris scale. I'm a little disappointed in.
I didn't like the original. Held aloft by the Purity Seals, and I don't know. I just thought it was a little bit too derpy for me. It was a bit too, I'm come to blood. And this one, at least, there's a twist to his body, and he's leaping off a bit of terrain this time. It's still an odd miniature for me with the exposed muscle style armor.
I don't mind that, but I do mind that he's just got the axe held in double-handed grip over his head in exactly the same pose.
Yeah,
I always love how they give him like the samurai kind of mask there. That's kind of cool. Like ninja.
Is that what that's supposed to be? I thought that was just his face.
Is it? I thought it was a mask.
If you zoom in, I think it's just his face, isn't it?
No, it's a death mask apparently.
Oh, is it a death mask? Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say, I assumed it was, to be fair. It might not be. It could just be his face.
Because he's got the hair flowing around it. I just assumed it was his face.
Okay. I mean, obviously, he's got like the blood mark at the top.
Yeah, but on the original one,
like,
he does have a smaller headband on the original miniature.
Is it? Okay.
But he doesn't have the pipes going into his cheeks, or if he does, it's very, very subdued.
I'm just checking to see if the rules say that he's got a death mask.
I mean, it might meant to be his Fizzog, I don't know, but
I always thought it was.
It looks like a death mask to me. Perhaps the old miniature was his face, but this one is a death mask. I'm not sure.
If anyone knows, please let us know in the comments.
Do you know what this one looks like?
He's still got the breathing.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, you can see
this
his
one
fangs.
looks like I don't know if you've seen 300. The Medusan Immortals that they send at the Spartans. That's what his face looks like.
I think you're right, Ben. I think that probably is his face.
It's just what he looks like.
Yeah.
He needs some vitamin D.
Different.
Jesus.
That's
Riveting podcast talk, but oh well.
No, hang on, interesting. So I'm on the 40k app at the moment, and if you look at the main screen, it's got the old model, but when you click on him, new model.
Oh.
It's interesting. They've already updated that on the.
Click on Sanguinary Guard.
That's pretty quick, isn't it? To be fair.
Hang on, no, I may be mistaken because this one's the old model. It's just that the old model looks so similar to the new model because it's still got the same parchment-y scroll stuff down the side. I genuinely thought for a minute it was the new model because they look so similar.
Yeah, not that much of a change on this one, is it? Really, like you say, dramatically.
It's a glow up. I think it's an improvement.
Yeah.
My only criticism is the right arm doesn't look natural, if you like. It just looks a bit odd because it's upside down.
Looks a bit out of place. Yeah, I get what you mean. But no, otherwise, pretty cool.
Doesn't have any kind of death mask or anything in his rules.
All right, chat. Let us know in the comments. On the old one, was it his face or was it a death mask? And on the new one, is it a mask or is it his face?
I definitely think both of them second time looking, but I do like on the back here as well. The for those who are only listening, on the back, the actual hover wings on the back for the jetpack.
Yeah.
How the actual insignias match with the I love the actual insignias on the back with that color scheme, like that kind of dark red with the gold wings. I think looks really cool.
It's like a Flesh Terror's red or a corn red almost,
like
isn't it?
I think that really goes to be honest.
I think this is another thing that's always bugged me a little bit about him is he's the High Reclusiarch, he's the head of the chaplains, and he's not in black. Like he's out of uniform.
Indeed.
But somewhere Gulliman's writing a harshly worded note.
He's probably give up with these lot.
Then you've got 20 Death Company intercessors.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? They're not really Death Company. They're just assault intercessors with the Blood Angels upgrade sprue, and then the painted as Death Company.
Yeah.
Now, this upgrade sprue, the biggest thing for me that annoys me about it, apart from the overuse of the vampire fangs, that winds me off the clock. But that's a story for another day. The badge on the chapter on the pads, the chapter badge, it's like the Horus Heresy style one, not the 40k style.
You're right.
Blood Angel symbol, and they did it with the Dark Angels as well. I don't like this, for the Dark Angels and the Blood Angels. It's more like the 30k era chapter symbols on the shoulder pads.
Do you think it's because they've got the CAD files from doing the chapter pads for Horus Heresy, and they've just reused them when they've made the upgrade sprue?
I'm not sure, but the odd thing is when you look at the transfers, they're still the old style chapter badge.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't bother me anyway because I always go transfers over sculpted shoulder pads anyway. I just think it looks nicer with transfers because you can paint chip them and make them look worn and stuff like that.
Can we go back up to the Death Company minutes? So can you tell, if you can zoom in on like the guy at the bottom left of that little 4, his shoulder pad with the cross and the white, there, that is just painted onto the shoulder pad.
It's just painted, yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm worried about is that this is going to mean that the tactical, the Firstborn Death Company box, which is brilliant if you're making it a Blood Angels army.
Oh yeah, I think that might be going the way of the dodo.
I think it might be as well. I suspect if we were to check the store, it may well already be like out of stock online.
It's definitely still on there because I saw it earlier.
Yeah, but how long is it out of stock online? And if so, how long has it been out of stock online? I wonder.
Are the face sculpts new though? The head sculpts?
I think there's some new heads, aren't they?
Yeah, there's plenty of new heads in there. There's some helmets with the blood drop on the helmet. So in fact, there's only one helmet actually. I think from what I've heard, you get 4 of these sprues in this army box. So for anyone listening, you get 1 Primaris helmet, 1 Terminator helmet, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bear heads. One of them's bald. The rest have all got nice Blood Angel blonde centre partings, Jaime Lannister style. But they've all got really long vampire fangs, and it just does my head in.
Yeah. The Death Company box is still in stock online, so if anyone's listening and wants to pick one up before it inevitably suddenly disappears,
and then we've got some
notice.
Some backpack icons. We've got loads of belt trinkets, and then we've got shoulder pads. 1 Inferno pistol, an Eviscerator. What have we got? 1 chainsword and 2 power swords.
Yeah.
No? So there's a nice mix in there, and if you get 4 of those sprues, it's not bad. And I'm sure
I think they're missing a trick with the Dreadnought, though. They've only got the Death Company badge, the skull and crossbones, and then just whacked it on the
on the
sarcophagus.
But yeah, it's same with the Dreadnought, though, isn't it? It's a regular one, but then you get
it's just a Brutalis Dreadnought. It's painted as Death Company, and then there's a little Death Company skull and crossbones on the front left.
Which is why I think we're still due new models, surely, still for Blood Angels, and they have teased this, which we will go into in a moment. It's cool artwork actually on the limited edition codex.
That's the artwork from the 8th edition 40k rulebook. I think it was inside of that as one of the colour pages.
I think it was, yeah. I think
Very possibly. The Dark Imperium one.
Yeah, I think that is it. That's from inside there. It's one of the inside pages of the Dark Imperium book. Because I remember admiring it at the time and going, that's a really nice piece of art.
So they've said it's going to have a total of 18 data sheets. Now, if I recall correctly, there's 19 at the moment, isn't there? I think.
I've got the app open, let me tell
Which
you.
means something is going. I suspect it's possibly Firstborn Death Company. Or could it be...
Yeah,
it depends. Are they going to do 2 separate data sheets? One for, Death Company Assault Intercessors and then Death Company Intercessors with jump packs? Or will it just be a jump pack option to add on?
They combine 2 into 1, isn't it?
I have a theory what it might also be.
Librarian Dreadnought?
Tycho.
Oh, yeah, Tycho, yeah. Because he's Death Company now, isn't he?
Well, he was Death Company, but then he died. I mean, literally, he died at the Third War of Armageddon. No, for the final time. At the Third War of Armageddon, he actually died. It's just that
they could put him into Legends then.
They could Yarrick him. That's what I'm thinking. They might go, we've moved the timeline ahead, so there is no reason that Tycho should still be kicking around, given that he died.
So it could be Tycho. You might be right.
I think it might be. And he's a very old model. He's a lovely model, but he's a very old model. Which when you put him next to a Primaris Marine, it looks like it's take your kid to work day.
Yeah, and then we've got the normal edition, haven't we? Which I'm sure we've got that artwork from the previous Codex supplement, Blood Angels.
I think you're probably right.
Pretty sure it's the same, yeah. But yeah, that is pretty much it for what they've revealed this week. But they have said a very, very little teaser that they've dropped in the middle of this, so don't take too much from this. But they have said if you're wondering where all the red is, don't worry, there'll be lots of red in due course, and perhaps a little gold. So stuff that's not Death Company, basically.
Yeah, so the big rumour is new Sanguinor Guard.
I can see that happening.
Yeah. Without wings, apparently. Without wings.
That's outrageous. That's one of the things that makes them look so cool. I was going to say,
that surely makes them, yeah.
Well,
especially because they've done the wings for Astaroth. And those are
I hope that's wrong.
Model.
I hope that's wrong, but apparently that's the scuttlebutt. New Sanguinor Guard without wings, but with that style jump pack that Dante's got and what Lamartis has got. And then the other rumour is new Sanguinor. Big one.
Okay.
Well, I'm not keen on the old models, to be fair.
No, that'll have wings.
I don't know how old those models are, but I think
Sanguinor and Sanguinor Guard are pretty old.
Yeah. I'm not keen on how they look, to be honest, so they could do something really nice with them, but like how Ben reacted, I'm the same. I'm not sure about them taking away the wings. I suppose you could be creative with it, though, and if you have a jump pack wings on the back, you could then have the imprint of wings on those, I suppose, but I still think, I don't know.
It was, I suppose, I'm biased. I've got a Blood Angels army, and I bought
it would surprise me if the wings aren't there.
For the wings.
That's just a rumour. So.
Yeah.
I mean, redesign how the wings fit onto the backpack. Yeah. One of the things that make the Blood Angels look really cool.
But
I mean again, I suppose... Sorry, go on. Well, I was going to say, I suppose, if they don't put the wings on, all that will happen is that somebody online will start selling 3D printed wings that are compatible with a Sanguinary Guard Primaris kit. So if you don't do it, Games Workshop, you're just leaving a hole in the market for somebody else to go and make some.
How old are the Blood Angel specific Terminators, by the way? Because might we see some new Terminators for them? I suppose that could be the part of the red that we're getting, maybe.
Blood Angels
they're
Terminator
still in stock at the moment.
Yeah, because we had the Blood Angels Terminator Assault Squad, didn't we? And then we had Carleon with the big hammer. And they're Didino, aren't they? We need the new Terminators to be released as an assault kit to begin with. And then maybe it's just going to be that upgrade that you see on the sprue there that you can fettle them with, but there's not really going to be a lot of options, is there?
What I would quite like to see is, in much the same way that they've got vehicles specific for other chapters, like the Dark Angels have their own specific land speeders and stuff, the Blood Angels have the Baal Predator. It would be nice to see like a Primaris version of that, like maybe the Ground version of that. The Baal Gladius, yeah. Maybe just a conversion kit that could go with the Gladius. Like, hey, buy this, here's Gladius plus this sprue. and that's
Well,
where it
doesn't
gives
one of
you the option.
the big speeders have the Punisher cannons on it? I can't remember.
Maybe there's the venerable brother ear defenders who's there with the giant cannons going bang 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 either side of his head.
Yeah, and you've got the missiles. Well, I can't remember which one's which. Yeah, I'd have to have a look online.
I can't remember either.
But
But yeah,
some sort of BAL version of a new Primaris vehicle would be pretty cool.
with giant heavy flamers on the outside, on the side, and big rotary cannons on the front.
That's true.
There's no
actually, I didn't
close-up
think
picture
about
of that
vehicles.
transfer sheet, is there? Which is a shame.
No, I don't think
No, I
they've
don't
released
believe
close-ups
so,
of that on Twitter yet
No.
either.
I mean, I can try and focus in on it as best I can.
Let's have a little toot.
There's a flash terror symbol on there, isn't
I
there?
was going to say, that's why I wanted you to zoom in. There's flash terror symbols on there.
That's cool if so. Yeah, it looks like the white circle with
Angels, there's some successor ones on there as well. Angels Vermilion, it looks like.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, anything else that we think we could see maybe for them? I think we've covered the majority there, really, haven't we?
Sanguinor Priest, or maybe Corbulo, or Corbulo. I can't
Well,
think
again,
you
Corbulo is
said,
the other one who could go. I mean, he's still right.
That's what I mean, yes. And then Gabriel Seth, perhaps, for Flash Terrors.
I mean, you said earlier on Discord, so obviously Dante's relatively new. So
Yeah,
we've had a new
big models
Dante.
like that.
What, 8-9 months ago? A year ago, maybe?
Last time they got their codex.
Yeah.
It's so recent. That was the last time they got their codex.
Well, that only came out early because somebody at the, or something at the distribution centre, somebody ordered old Dante and got the new one, didn't they?
yes.
Apparently it was by accident, but, you know, you never know.
I
Soft
suppose,
leak, perhaps.
thinking about it, some of the models for the Dark Angels were obviously upgraded, but others weren't. So they still got the same
Ezekiel.
They've still got the same. God, what's he called? The interrogator
Samael.
chaplain model. Isn't the interrogator
Oh,
chaplain model?
no,
the same as well?
Asmodai. We've got a new Asmodai now.
Not a new Asmodai. Okay.
Oh, you mean the old, just a standard interrogator chaplain with the fist in the air?
Yeah, is that
Yeah,
not
that's the
still
same one.
So and I think the Sanguinor Priest in much the same way. It's not that old a plastic kit. It might still stay the same.
Possibly.
Because I mean, it's slightly taller than your traditional Firstborn Marine anyway, because it was from the last run of that kind of era of Space Marines. But and likewise, Corbulo, in the same way that Ezekiel has not yet crossed the Rubicon. Maybe in 2 years' time, when 11th edition comes out, they'll release, Primaris Ezekiel, Primaris Brother Corbulo.
Oh, I'd love to see a new Ezekiel. That'd be awesome.
Again, it would be interesting to see if they just do what they've done with Astrath and keep exactly the same pose, the kind of samurai warrior with the sword held up in high guard, just taller.
No, but there's plenty of stuff we can get hyped for, I suppose, and I'm sure we won't have to wait too long. The other thing, obviously, that I find strange, I think it was Rick that pointed out earlier on the Discord, we have an Age of Sigmar reveal event coming, supposedly, but we don't have... Obviously, we were kind of expecting, I think, end of this month, beginning of next month, a general big reveal day to plan out the second half of the year. Still waiting on that, but they've actually been slowly trickling out quite big reveals, really, over the last couple of weeks.
I've just done a video today because I was really surprised that they dropped all that on a Monday. I was expecting a reveal show, or for them to wait until Nova Open, because Nova's 28th of August till 2nd of September, and that's always a good bang for reveals, isn't it? So
I suppose that probably will be the next one.
Well, no, I think we're going to see some Kill Team at Nova and maybe some, who knows what else.
Just
for
40k roadmap.
Eldar.
Blood Angels weren't on the old roadmap, were they?
No.
So
because that was one of the things people thought the redacted might be.
Yeah, but we're off the roadmap then. So we're in uncharted territory, and we've already got the first codex that would be on that roadmap, I guess, because it's going to be.
So I think Nova Open will see a new roadmap.
You could well get a roadmap for Sigmar and 40k. To be fair, there's no reason why not, I suppose. We'll have to wait and see.
Horus Heresy as well. Could do with a roadmap for that, because we're getting quite far into that existing one.
That's what I'm saying. Most stuff that we know about is more or less being released or on pre-order now. So, we're due some big announcements soon. A lot of stuff to chat about on the podcast. But
one thing I do want to mention before we crack on: Mechanicum Battle Group. Is the price? Price is out for that now, isn't it? 130.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you was getting it from your local gaming store, 20% discount.
It's that bad for what's in there.
104 quid. So I just wanted to make sure we mention Horus Heresy because it's been brought up before. So
yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's,
I mean,
that's a
Heresy
fair point.
players, we've got the price, 130 quid.
the plastic Triarch conveyor in there, if you think how much just like a year ago a resin one of those would have cost
That's
you,
what I was thinking.
you're getting the whole box in plastic now for basically almost the same price as the original resin conveyor.
That box is
And-
now a love letter, isn't it, to, you know, Dark Mechanicum fans.
That's going to be a popular box, that.
If they'll just give us 40k rules for some of that stuff.
I mean,
I saw Plastics Thalax, and I'm just weeping, going, Thalax exist in the 41st millennium. They're a core facet in all of the Black Library books. Give us rules for them, GW. I want regiments of Thalax marching alongside my Imperial Knights in 40k.
I still don't have Heresy Army, to be fair, and I think in the next year or so I really do need to get myself Heresy Army. It's more that there aren't any people locally to me that really play it, so I'd have to get somebody into it as well. But if I was to get into it, I'd have to say I'd be highly tempted to pick up that box, because that's such a good deal in my opinion. In terms of our Warhammer world, it's, you know, I think it's
there are some good Heresy events. I've been to a couple of them. In fact, I had a friend who was running one the other week. They were running a linked Heresy Titanicus Legions Imperialis event, and if you want to get into Heresy but you don't have people near you who can play it, it is worth just getting into it, just to go to like a couple of events a year and just meet up with other people who are all really enthused about it and really into it.
No, for sure. It'd be something I might have to look into, I suppose. But I suppose that being our main topic for the week, there's one or two topics that we could have added in this week, but with community questions we had enough really to chat about, but we might add a couple of them in next week, possibly on next week's episode. But the first community question for this week's episode is Ep.22. He always generally tends to send one in for us, so we've got one from him. Bonehead moments. How do you guys cope when you realise your misplay has cost you the game? Do you overanalyze or do you move on quickly? Any tips from your experiences? Ben, you look like you're revved up to say something.
Laugh about it. Genuinely, if you realise that you've cocked up, for God's sake, don't make a big deal about it. Don't, turn around to your opponent, I'll just give you the game now. I've seen some people who do that, and it's like, you're just disrespecting your opponent at that point. If you've screwed up, own it and say, laugh at it, go, I can't believe it. You're going to cream me now, and then make the most of it. It's liberating. I've had these moments where it's literally like, okay, there is no way I can win. So let's try and do something cool instead. Let's try and do something utterly ridiculous. A perfect example I can give you, it's not a boneheaded moment per se, but I've told this before, a doubles event that a friend and I went to where we were determined to try and get the wooden spoon at Warhammer World. And so we'd taken a list that was the smallest number of models we could fit into our list as possible. And this included, I'd take one of each of the assassins, for example, just because, hey, it's legal at that point. I ended up playing a game against a guy who's using Night Lords, and he was using the resin Comrade Kerr's model as his Demon Prince. And it's like, okay, hang on a minute, I've got a Cowardice Assassin on the same board as Comrade Kerr's. From that point on, we abandoned any pretense that anything was happening other than we were trying to find the coolest way for the assassin to fight Kerr's, to reenact the moment from actual 40k history. Everything else, I think we just forgot that all of us were in any way, in shape or form involved in a tournament. It was about having the most fun and playing the coolest game. And if you do have one of those boneheaded moments, you can turn it into that. You can do, okay, let's see how far I can get. Let's see if I can kill that model over there. I'm going to do everything I can to kill that model. Let's see how many of my men it takes to do that. Just enjoy it.
I agree completely. If you overanalyze, you overcompensate. In my book, you just have a laugh about it. And whenever I play a game, for me, it's always story over glory. For me,
heck yeah,
that's it. Because I don't play competitively anyway. So story over glory. If we can do something cool, fine. There's times you forget to activate a unit. I've done that before, and then it's gone to the opponent's turn. And I'm thinking, oh Christ, skeleton archers there, and I didn't even do anything with them. So I've done that. I did it at a demo game at the Old World launch. I forgot to use a unit twice. I did it twice, not once, twice. But we just had a laugh about it.
I think
make jokes about it. You go, oh no, they're bone idle.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, just
I think it's something that
don't beat yourself up over it.
Well,
just have a laugh.
In all honesty, and with the three of us, like we are generally more narrative anyway with all of our games that we play, so it bothers us less. I imagine if you have competitive play and competitive players,
I can
you get
appreciate
people a lot more bothered
if you're gunning for a tournament win and stuff like that.
Asking the question to us, Esparnet, we're generally, I think the three of us, pretty narrative. Anything like that pops up, we're just going to laugh it off and just carry on.
Yeah, but I would say even for tournament players or anyone like, playing seriously, if you overanalyze, you will overcompensate. Because you'll be that focused on the mistake you made and trying to put it right, you forget what else you're doing.
My buddies, I mentioned you were to the Heresy event recently. They came away with like second best army at the event, most sporting, and first place. And they did it by just going in there to have fun, not going in there to overanalyze or try and, I must win at all costs. They went in there to go, this is an awesome army that I love and I've had an amazing time painting and I want to show it off and have fun with it. And that's the way to go.
Yeah, indeed. And I mean, in terms of like, I think he's asking, do you kind of analyze anything that you've done wrong afterwards? Sometimes. I wouldn't say that I really like literally make a thing of like, because if I play a game with any of my friends, like it is very narrative. We just take whatever we want and we play it. But once we finish the game, we will just look back over the events from the game and we'll point out like, oh, that's where something went wrong.
Yeah.
But we don't make a big deal out of it. It's just like, oh, that was interesting where that happened.
I should have done that, or I forgot to do this. Or
I think of it as a retrospective. Like I've done it when I'm doing a battle report video. I'll play a battle through, and then at the end, my friend and I, who I've done the game with, will talk it over. Like, okay, what worked well, what didn't work well. Which, if you think about a lot of especially the older White Dwarf battle reports, that would be how they would wrap the battle reports up. It is. It's what worked well, what didn't. What do I wish I had been able to do? What what units performed well? What did I really enjoy? And that retrospective aspect of it, it's not overthinking it, but it is learning and reflecting on what you could have done better and what went really well and you want to do again.
Yeah, usually if it's mishaps, it's rules that I've forgotten, so it just helps me learn the system better rather than how to win better, personally.
I think anyone who's watched my battle reports will know it's rules that we've misinterpreted. Oh no, that's how that rule works. Okay,
I know YouTube will let you know. Yeah,
that might have done things completely differently if we'd done it.
I did battle reports for years. It's and no matter how many battle reports you do and how long you do it for and how much you know the rules to a game, you'll still get pointed out by somebody. But anyway, we'll move on to question number 2, which comes from Zaza over on the Discord. Hobby travel kits, yay or nay? Based upon the last 2 trips of a week plus of time I have had away from home in the past month, I felt it was worth it as we were staying in the same place the entire trip. I mean, go on, Sig, you were going to say something.
So when I first heard that question, I thought he was saying like hobby travel kit. If you were going to a tournament or a games day somewhere, do you take a little box with glue and tools in? No. And then I realised it's about if you're going on a holiday, for example, that Duff caravan holiday I went on earlier this year. It rained like 3 days. I could have done with a little Warhammer travel kit. I could have brought some sprues and some clippers and some
have you ever done it before?
And just done a bit.
Have you ever done it before? I suppose is the question. Have you been away and taken hobby stuff with you? Yeah,
I have taken a little hobby box away. Yeah, I have done that before. Yeah. We went to a little cottage in Anglesey, and it was nice and quiet, relaxing holiday. So I took a little box with me with some Space Marines, and I ended up building a dreadnought. Cool. So it was only a little bit, but it's something to pass the time while the missus.
For anybody abroad, Anglesey is on the coast of Wales.
I've never been abroad with a hobby travel kit.
No, I can't say I've done that. I've taken books away with me to read rules.
Yeah, I've done that. Law. I've taken a codex to Spain. I've done that.
Yeah. What about you, Ben?
So I've actually got a video coming up kind of on this topic. It's going to be later this year. I can't say when. I did a video recently with some friends where we talked about the best way to paint models while traveling. And part and parcel of that was we each went away and made our own kind of on-the-road hobby travel kits. I haven't got it here with me to show you right now. Essentially, what I whipped up for mine was I got from Temu, Shop Like You're a Billionaire, I think it's a makeup bag that someone had converted and then resold as a gaming bag. It's ostensibly for like D&D, but I think it's a makeup bag, to be honest. But it had an internally padded pouch, 2 side pouches and a front pouch, all with kind of elasticated pockets in that you can tuck brushes and glues or dice or whatever in, and then a fold-over top section with a foam tray in it with removable sections that was sufficient in size to fit 12 models, which I kind of looked at and went, well, that's a Warcry warband or a Blood Bowl team or, you know, a Necromunda gang, whatever. But then for the purposes of transporting the paints, I got 2 small, really useful boxes that I knew were the right size to fit inside this padded interior compartment, and also that were the right depth that would hold up to the Warhammer shade pots, the taller, old style, like Null oil pots and stuff they used to do. I've got a whole bunch of those kicking around still. And walked into the hobby shop with a couple of paint pots to go, does this mesh? Does this fit? Does this fit? And then I've taken one of them and glued a strip of magnetic, like a sticky back plastic magnetic sheet onto it. And then as I was hobbying on my travel, because literally hobbying on the move, I had some magnets stuck to the bottom of the miniatures, and I could just stick them on the top of the paint box.
Oh, cool.
And that paint box became my workstation. So I've not only have I, you know, packed a hobby travel kit, I've actually designed one that was the perfect for hobbying on the move.
For actual travel rather than like...
Yeah, basically. But
I've
in the past, I mean, I was on holiday at the end of last year, and it was only because it was one too many things to pack in the suitcase that it got left behind in the end. I had planned to take a little travel like Feldkar case that I've got full of Warcry miniatures with me, and the plan had been we were going on a cruise, and my wife had agreed that we would play some games of Warcry whilst we were on the cruise, because why not?
Yeah.
There are absolutely some games that you can just play on the go.
Yeah.
I've got ambitions at some point of doing, I want to do, because I love Ep.22, the precursor to Legions Imperialis. It's an appropriate scale as opposed to Legions Imperialis, which is too big as far as I'm concerned. I want to do a fold-out travel gaming table for Epic, because you can play Epic on something that's like no more than like 2 foot by 2 foot easily enough. And I know you could just get a fold-out mat, and I've taken one of those with me before now when I've taken some Epic miniatures. But I want to make a scenic one. I want to make one that's sculpted and shaped that I can like fold into something roughly the size of like a drill case or something. Because I've seen before now people used to do almost, hey, I want to play, click, and they fold out a gaming table and go, hey, let's play, and play a small scale, like travel battleships level of 40k. And I want to try and do something like that. So going back to the original question, travel hobby kits, yes, I absolutely swear by them. Warhammer is an entirely portable hobby. Because I think we've gotten a little bit off topic with me being overexcited here.
That's fine.
Warhammer is entirely a portable hobby.
And that's it for this week, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you very much for watching. I think you're only limited by what you yourself can come up with.
Indeed. I don't think me or Si can answer it better than that, really. So we'll move on to the next one.
That question was for me, right?
It was. Well, to be fair,
I sat very patiently till the end there.
The next one, though, Tim RD has sent one in asking, what's the solution to the manifestation chaos of Age of Sigmar 4th edition? So I know the guys don't really play
This is
Sigmar
a question for Luke
per se.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can explain what this actually means per se. So manifestations in 4th edition are just endless spells. So that, and basically you have like the priests and things that can use prayers to summon endless spells or manifestations. And a lot of people, well, it's been everywhere on Age of Sigmar forums and things. People have been happy with 4th edition, but the thing they're really not happy with is manifestations. And what he means by it is, and he's given an extra comment actually, which I'll read out. Just the current state of affairs with all manifestations, they're free to use, overpowered, favouring magic-centric armies and clogging up the board space. So if you know what endless spells are, you've got like the big purple sun and all that sort of stuff. They're quite decent-sized models. Effectively now, the way Sigmar works is you get access to 2 different laws of magic. One can be all your normal spells, so you get like 4 or 5 normal spells that you get, and the other law of magic has to be manifestation based, so you get access to like 3 or 4 endless spells from that law. But because spells are free other than the casting value, people are saying that only magic armies have access to these free things that you can keep summoning to the board for free each turn for magic. Bear in mind my Seraphon, for example, a Slan can summon, I think, can do 3 spells in a turn, and you can now cast a spell in your opponent's hero phase by spending a command point. That's technically 4 manifestations you could bring out in a turn. You can now attack endless spells in combat and deal damage to most of them to get rid of them. So that's one thing they've tried to do to counter it, so that non-magic armies can still attack them and get rid of them, because they are things on the table. But the next turn, you can just bring them back for free. It doesn't matter.
But so hang on.
Aside from the casting value. But, I mean, like, for example, my Slan can cast spells, including manifestations, so easily, there's no chance you're going to really stop it.
Doesn't every army have access to either a wizard or a priest of some flavour?
No.
Who does
think about stuff like
Karagon don't.
Khorne, Karajon. There's quite a few armies that don't.
Khorne have the slaughter priests, though, don't they? Can't they summon
they do
stuff?
yes, but they can't unbind stuff. They don't have many unbinds, right? So like the way it works in 4th edition now is, like, my Slan, for example, has wizard level 3, so it can do up to 3 casts or unbinds in a turn. Whereas, say, like the priests for Khorne, they might only be able to just do a prayer in a turn, which I believe prayer. I don't know if they can actually dispel manifestations. They might be able to. That's beyond my knowledge with that one. But what people are saying is, because you get these for free, you can dump them down once they're dead. That's better. You're able to bring them back for free. That's better than, say, a unit that you have to pay money for in a different army, or pay points for in a different army, I should say, is the argument people are making. And from the games people have had so far, granted it's not been out for too long so far for test play and stuff like that, but from tournaments that have happened already, people are saying it's very overpowered, especially for magic-centric armies. Like my Seraphon, for example, you could just take a couple of Slan and a few other wizards, for example, and the number of stuff you could bring in is unlimited. There's no limit to what you can do with it. And yeah, people are struggling with it, I think. But I mean, one of the forums I was in the other day chatting to people about it, that somebody was saying that they'd lost their Great Unclean one to like a couple of endless spells that just clogged him down for a couple of turns because the mortal wounds they can dish out and all that sort of stuff. So this is basically the conversation that's going on with it.
Sounds like it's someone that's going to be FAQ'd.
Yes, basically. And I'd say what he's basically asked is, what's the solution to them? At the moment, not a hell of a lot. Play a magic-based army. They will fact them, though. They will have to, because at the moment, from what they're saying, it's not been great. I did play my first full... I usually would save this till hobby updates and whatnot, which we're having next week. I did have my first full-size game of Age of Sigmar last week, but there were no endless spells used, so I can't touch on it myself.
Okay.
But from what I've been reading and the rules I know about, I can see why people are saying that it's causing issues, but I'm sure it'll... Say again?
I'll say, isn't the answer just kill the wizards? Like, if you kill the wizards, they can't cast any more endless spells.
It's because obviously wizards you can just sit at the back of the board, can't you? And some wizards can, like, literally, there's an unbind range, whereas like Slans, for example, don't have an unbind range. They can just do it anywhere on the board.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, say you've got a Khorne army where you don't... Oh, no, I don't have wizards. No, but I do have, like, a large number of bloodthirsters that I can throw at.
Yeah, that's the idea, isn't it? Yeah.
I've got 3 bloodthirsters. I'll just throw them at the Slan Mage Priest. He'll have an extremely dead frog very quickly.
Yeah, I think the argument is that just Seraphon also have an equal number of units on the table. Then they get access to all these other models they can summon in relentlessly. That's the trouble.
But they don't get bloodthirsters.
Yeah. But if you're asking what the solution's going to be, they'll probably have to put points values on them again, or I don't know, limit so that one endless spell can be summoned a game. Each endless spell or manifestation can be summoned once per game. Once they're dead, you can't use them again. Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Although that would kind of defeat the meaning of the name Endless. If it's like, I've got an endless supply.
Well, no, that's why they've renamed them. They've renamed them to manifestations. I'm just saying that so that you understand.
No, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I suppose my counterpoint to this would be maybe the answer is it's not a balanced game. Doesn't need to be. Just play the game as it is. No. Magic in a game set in a high fantasy setting with vast magical forces unleashed, magic is overpowered.
Well, obviously the question, I suppose he's coming at it from a match play angle, isn't he? Because he's saying it's kind of breaking it from that point of view. But from my point of view, I'm happy to just say if like manifestations...
As a Seraphon player?
Yeah, well, that's even better, I suppose, because
With a
I'm on the
magic
end where,
frog.
like, I know what they can do. So, like, if you can always just say between you and your opponent, we won't use manifestations. You still get access to a whole lore of magic. That's just like third edition, effectively. Yeah, I don't know, but
Maybe the
it
answer
doesn't.
is they'll stop
I haven't
selling the
tested
endless
it,
spell
so.
models, and that'll still solve the problem.
Well,
Like,
I've seen a few people have just said I'd be happy to see them go entirely anyway,
Mm.
but I mean, people have got different opinions on them anyway. But anyway, it's one of those. It doesn't personally bother me because match play stuff doesn't wind me up, to be honest. But I get why you bring it up because I know it's been a massive conversation topic since the game's come out. So that's fair dues.
I suppose in 8th edition of Fantasy, they had a version of Fantasy that was essentially a high magic version. It was, I can't for the life of me remember what it was called now, but there was a version where you had lots of super powerful spells, and almost all of them were made of essentially kind of metal half-sphere templates that you just bought a box of and then deployed as bunches of like football doobies all over the board. But maybe the answer is there's a version that you play, which is the the manifestation version. We're playing in a game of high level magic. Manifestations are allowed in this game. The rest of the time, they're not. Make it a version of play.
Yeah. No, I think there's multiple solutions they can do it. You just have to wait for it, effectively. But we do have 2 more questions that I pulled from Reddit that's kind of combined, so that's why I've saved them to put together in this case. So first one came from FEMA2. Which armies do you enjoy or not enjoy playing against? That's just in general. And then we had Leroy Jenkins, which, by the way, is a great name. Which army in 40k can you just not beat no matter what you try? And I suppose the two kind of overlap slightly, so you can sort of answer both, I guess.
Well, I'll go first because mine's probably the shorter answer. Army I enjoy playing against orcs every day. Because I just find orcs hilarious, whether I'm playing as them or playing against them. I just think they're a brilliant army, and they just, to me, they are what 40k is, orcs and space marines. So I love playing against orcs. There's no army I don't like playing against. I'm not really that bothered. And in terms of, is there an army I can't beat? I've not really come across that, to be honest. I probably don't play often enough to answer that question. But yeah, for the first part, orcs all day long. I'd be happy to play orcs.
Do you want me to answer next, Ben?
Yeah, go for
it. So yeah, to be fair, I didn't realise when I first read that question that it was enjoy or not enjoy. So probably similar to side, like because I'm like I love narrative play. Any army that's random has random aspects. So stuff like I've just bought Skaven, orcs in 40k. They have such random like weapons and different things.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was just a 40k specific question.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know the other one actually says which armies do you enjoy or not enjoy playing against was the first one. That's in general, so it doesn't have to be just 40k for that one. But for me, yeah, if we're talking any game system, it would be anything random. Like obviously playing fantasy again recently, Ben, with like the Skaven. You've got the Doom Wheel. It's just random movement, and it just randomly crashes into stuff, and doesn't matter what it is. It's just hilarious. It's just great fun to play against. In terms of stuff that I can never beat and I'm not happy playing against, maybe more likely if I go to an event it would probably be death related armies, especially in Sigmar, just because it's so, when you can keep summoning back undead and people are just playing 40, 50, 60 even sometimes units of zombies, and that's pretty much their army with a big zombie vampire lord behind them, just bringing back these units. It's not the most fun to play against, to be honest, but that would probably be the only thing I'd really think of that I've played against before that's a bit iffy. So yeah, that'd be mine. But what about you, Ben?
I think for me, it's very much edition specific. So I did not enjoy playing against Necrons in like 4th or 5th edition 40k.
Necron's another one. Yeah.
They were, in particular at that point in time, they were just not only hard to beat, but they didn't make for an interesting game. They had one very specific set of tricks, and every game
as well. They were
right.
They had one specific toolbox that came up in every game. It didn't matter who you played or like even what they had in their army, they might have slight variations on it, but you generally knew you were going to see exactly the same army every single time. There's Necro Warriors hiding behind a monolith, which they can shoot under because it's a skimmer, because this is 4th and 5th edition, and wraiths that come shiting through the walls and start slicing you to ribbons. It was just not a fun army to play against in those editions, and there was no slant on any of my opponents from back then. It just wasn't a fun army to play. Likewise, demons in 6th edition fantasy, they did not balance demons when they released them for 6th edition fantasy, and going into 7th edition fantasy, they were massively overpowered and also massively overladen in terms of special rules. Like your opponents go, okay, let me just check this chart. Now let me check that chart. Okay, I'm going to go to the bar. Whilst you do that, you'll still be doing it when I have come back from the bar. Yeah, I think it's additional. It's edition specific for me. But at the moment, I would say I've not come across an army in any of the current editions that I'd go, oh, I don't want to play against that. Like, I think all of them have something kind of fun going on. All of them have strengths and weaknesses. So, yeah, I don't think there's an army that I particularly kind of go, oh, I don't want to play that. I think it's very much down to just how the game goes.
That's fair. That's completely fair. And like we say, guys, we're generally speaking, the three of us are narrative really anyway, and very laid back. So, you know, even if I know, because when I went to the Warhammer World event earlier in the year with the Xeraphon, I played a couple of armies that were just very much the same, and they were playing it for that exact reason, that they knew they could just swarm the field and you wouldn't be able to really do much about it. But we still made fun out of it, and we still picked things out that were hilarious and, you know, that you could try to do. So there's always something you can make out of it.
Goliaths and corpse grinders in Necromunda at the moment are a little bit OP. Like some of the stuff, if you use the Goliath House of Chains book, you can make some broken Goliaths. I played a game against my friend Dave's Goliaths, and he brought a super roided up like gang champion. I think I set this guy on fire in turn 2, and 6 turns later, he's still on fire. Like, he's still got wounds to burn. He's screaming on fire. Screaming, beating my gangers to death one at a time. I'm like, you have been on fire this entire game. How have you still not run out of flesh wounds?
Just wait till you can make them Malstrain corrupted as well.
Oh, God, don't. So, yeah, and likewise, corpse grinders can be more, once they get into combat, they are more than a little bit broken. And again, that's before we make them Malstrain corpse grinders. There's something funny about this meat.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how they shack up in Necromunda, but we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But thanks for your questions as well, guys. But other than that, that is community questions down and out for this week. We've still got a few we can get to, but if yours hasn't been answered, don't worry, it'll just be taken over to the next one in a couple of weeks' time. If you want to give us your own community questions, guys, we always have some fun ones. Make sure you add yours on. It'd be great to see some new faces again as well. Make sure to comment on this video down below. Any question, doesn't even have to be Warhammer related, really, so long as it's a fair question and it's okay
Ask us to answer anything.
Yes. And we're happy to bring it up. And obviously on our Discord as well, we have a section there where you can actually drop them in as well. So feel free to join us over there. But this week, for our end of the week game, our collective mental game coming up with powers have died. Sorry, guys. We've tried to come up with games that will work both for kind of listeners, viewers, and be effective with the 3 of us when it's only 3 of us. And
make us suggestions.
Really,
yeah. Over to you
that's
guys.
what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, Luke said today, why don't we try Simon's game? And I said, I don't even know I can't even remember what I suggested. So I couldn't even remember what it was.
The game this week is try to remember what game Simon made up last week.
So basically, guys, if you want to see anything different, make suggestions. If we think it's worthwhile trying, we'll try it. If not, we know 20 questions works pretty well. So we're going to do that for most weeks, probably. It is what it is, guys.
I still don't know what it was.
Well, I think the funny thing is, I'm fairly sure it was a memory game. So the fact that we can't remember it is especially ironic.
Yeah. Yes, 20 questions will be back this week, guys. I have many suggestions that we've had sent in from people anyway, so we've got plenty we can get back to.
Not Charax, just not Charax.
I know what it was. Oh yeah, not Charax, he's banned.
We do have some people who have sent
especially banned
previously,
after
but
today, with his Lamati's comment, he's extra banned for 1 week.
Yeah, Banhammer.
Poor Charax. Send in a new one, Charax.
Ruining Lamatis for everyone.
Our suggestion for this week's episode comes in from, he didn't want to give his real name, so that's perfectly fine. Just said to use his username, which is Ordinary Argument. Fair enough.
Okay.
I nearly also read out what the actual thing was, and that's very close.
And the answer is...
Yeah. But for anybody who doesn't know, we haven't had it for a few weeks, to be fair. So Warhammer 20 Questions, if you've ever played 20Q or 20 Questions, it's the same, but we only use the Warhammer universe. So this week, it's the two guys, so Simon and Ben, are trying to guess the character or unit from the Warhammer universe that I am thinking of, or I have, that was a suggestion from you guys. And they will have 19 questions to try and guess what it is. The 20th has to be their guess, but they can guess sooner than that if they find out what it is. So with that down, let the question then begin, guys.
I'll bat to Simon first. You can serve.
I'm going to go back to Old Faithful. I'm hoping for a Goblin Hewer moment again tonight.
Oh, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Is it the Goblin Hewer? No.
Yeah. Do you reside in the 41st millennium?
I do, yeah. That's
It's
one.
not the Goblin Hewer.
It's the Goblin Hewer, but in the 41st millennium.
Votan Goblin Hewer. Can we just say how awesome would a Votan
that would be
Goblin
pretty
Hewer?
sweet.
Flings like laser axes.
Inquisitor book.
Say again, sorry.
Death World veteran from the Inquisitor book. No, it's not a question.
All right, Ben, your question.
Are you a Xenos?
Yes, that's 2.
Are you part of the Tau Empire and its auxiliaries?
No, that's 3.
Do you have pointy ears?
Yeah, I do have pointy ears. That's 4.
What flavour of pointy ears is the next one?
Yeah, that's the question.
I don't know if that's well, it has helped narrow it down, probably, I guess. But
well, we're looking like Eldar or Dark Eldar, aren't we?
Yeah,
Unless
I'm assuming it's probably not Harlequins. Well, I'm assuming that pointy ears, that Luke took it to mean Eldari. That's what I was kind of getting at there. So,
do you reside on a craft world, or did?
No, that's 5.
Could still be Harlequins. Do you like pain?
No, I imagine not. That's 6.
Okay, so it's not Dark Eldar, not Craft World Eldar, not Dark Eldar. So we're probably looking at Harlequins. I'm really hoping this isn't Exodites.
Or who's the dude that hangs around with Inquisitor Greyfax, the cool one? It came out in the the Fall of Cadia timeline. There was the Vizark.
Oh yeah, no, true. There is the third way, isn't there?
I'm watching Luke's poker face here.
Rupert Gollum's girlfriend and her mates.
That's right. Yeah, but Ivrain, was it?
Yeah, Ivrain, the Vizark, and the weird one with the swirly soulstorm thing around him. I can't think. The Inari. That's it.
Go on, it's your question, man. I think.
Is it my question?
Is it, or is it mine?
I asked about pain. It's your turn.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah. Would you fit in a circus? As in, like, are you part of a Harlequin troupe?
Okay, fair. No.
Right.
Okay. Do you have a model?
Yes, that's 8.
Not a Dark Eldar, not a Craftworld Eldar, not a Harlequin, and does have a model. You may have nailed it with the Inari. That's right.
I tell you, if it's Vizark as well, we're Goblin Hewer territory there.
Yeah, it may well be.
Have you ever been known to hang around with an Inquisitor?
No, that's 9.
Ooh.
Did Ivrain hung out with the Inquisitor as well, didn't she? Didn't she hang out with Greyfax as well?
It was in the same box, wasn't it? It was Greyfax, Ivrain, and the Vizark, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, no, was it? No, Greyfax. No, it was Ivrain, the Vizark, and the Incarn, the big swirly one.
Oh,
Greyfax came in a box with somebody else, but I can't. Oh, Celestine. Greyfax, Celestine.
Yeah. The big.
Yeah. So, it's my question: are you? Let's make this clear. Are you a member of the Inari?
No, that's 10.
God, it's going to be. It can't be an Exodite then. They don't have models. It's not a Craftworld Eldar. It's not a Dark Eldar. It's not Are we correct in all our suppositions so far that it's not a Craft World Eldar, because you've ruled that out? It's not a Dark Eldar, because it doesn't like pain. It's not a Harlequin.
Well, yeah, those have been ruled out with questions, so...
Yeah, but it's an Eldar.
When we say it's not a Craft World Eldar, we're not talking... You're not going to be like Prince Uriel, are you, where he's like... He used to be on a Craft World, but then he's pissed off being a ranger. Well, not a ranger, but he's with his fleet.
I mean, he's in the Craft World Eldari rules.
Ooh, hang on. What about Corsairs?
We didn't think about Corsairs. They have models, don't they?
Like I say, I'm going to let you go for a few more, because that's only
But they're
and then I'll give you a hint.
They are in Codex Craft World Eldari, though. I mean, they are in the Eldar.
Yeah, but we've not asked that, though, have we?
You asked, do they reside on a Craft World? I suppose.
Would you be sometimes referred to as a swashbuckler or a Corsair?
No, that's question 11.
Dang it. Did you come in the Blackstone Fortress box?
Are you asking that one, Ben, yeah?
I am.
No, that's 12.
Would you be considered, and I'm including Dark Eldar, Harlequins, Corsairs, and random Eldar characters, would you be considered a member of the Eldari race?
No.
Right,
We've just wasted most of our questions down the wrong rabbit hole.
Damn it. So what else has pointy ears?
It's funny how you can ask a question early on and it can really spiral you off the wrong direction.
Yeah, I suppose it's...
Are you the science officer on the Enterprise? That's not a real question, by the way.
No,
Do Gretchen have pointy ears?
Yeah, it can't be a demon, because we asked if it was Xenos, and he was clear it was Xenos. Do orcs have pointy... Orcs do have pointy ears. It's my question, isn't it?
Has he got green skin?
Do you have green skin?
Question 14. Yes, I do. Starting to get on the right track.
Oh, God help us. Okay, we're quite a ways off track, though, at question 14 in green skin.
God. Right.
Okay, so just the entire orc range to try and narrow it down. Let's narrow it down to infantry versus, like, cavalry.
Are you a character or a leader?
Good question.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
it's not a unit.
Yes. Sorry, I don't know why I questioned that. Yes,
it's not a unit, so we're looking.
It's not going to be like. Would Makari be considered a character? You know, Gazgul's little buddy.
He is a character. He is a character.
But is he a leader?
He's the leader of Grots. You could have him as your HQ choice to lead a Grot army. So we could be looking at like Gazgul, Makari, Big Mex, Rog, Scabrat. Let's try and narrow it down if it's a generic HQ or a special character.
4 left and a guess, by the way, here.
Yeah. Are you a named character?
Yes, that's 16.
So it's one of the special characters.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of narrowing down by clan?
Yeah, well, there's 2 of them are goth characters, because that's Gazgul and Makari. Zogrod, Wartsnagger, and Mozrog, Scragbad are Snakebite characters, and then Snickrot
are Snakebite.
They're both Snakebites who also happen to be Beast Snaggers.
Yeah,
I mean, we could class them both as Beast Snaggers. They're the 2 Beast Snagger named characters, and then Snickrot is the only Death Skull character, Blood Axe character. Yeah. So there are no characters from the Evil Sons or the Death Skulls or the
the Stormboys dude is gone now.
He's gone. Yeah, he's gone. And so I would suggest asking a question based around either which clan or like if they're a Beast Snagger or something like that, because that will help us hone in on. If it's not like a Beast Snagger, it's not a Goth, then we know it has to be Snickrot. If it is a Goth, then we know it's one of 2. If it's a Beast Snagger, we know it's either mounted or unmounted.
So I reckon rule out Goths.
Go for it.
Are you a member of the Goth clan?
Yes.
So it has to be either Gazgul or Makari because they're the only 2 Goths for sale.
Well, you would assume so, yeah. How many?
That was
what was that? 16?
17.
Oh yeah, 17. So Ben, you're on 18.
So if I ask, do you wear a giant suit of armor?
No, that's 18.
Which means it has to be Makari then. It's the only Goth character left.
You got 1 question left and then a guess.
Do you ask a question to confirm it's Makari?
Yeah, I'm just making sure we're not missing something here.
There was that special character that they released for the Black Library novel.
Would you be considered a banner waver for a very big orc?
Yes.
Was Cy right? Is it Makari?
It is Makari, yeah.
There we go. Should have just listened to you, Cy.
Waiter, check please.
Got it on
We've
the.
got-
I want to say the
got
last
away
time
with
we
murder
did,
again.
it was on the last question again as well.
We did.
That's
Well,
pretty incredible.
once we'd figured out that it was actually orcs rather than spending all our questions. I mean, if we'd just asked, I literally, instead of asking, do you have pointy ears, I nearly asked,
Yeah.
does it have green skin?
Yeah.
And I then thought,
But you wouldn't know that when you ask at the time, would you?
No.
It's kind of like it's just I don't think we've really had that before, where a question's been asked so early that it really threw you off track for a while.
But then again, if we asked, does it have green skin? You could, in theory, it could be like a Great Unclean one or something, because that technically has green skin.
Groot,
But stuff
Groot-
like what
Groot have got
Sai
green
eventually
skin.
did, where he asked like one question that cancelled out the whole of the Eldari race. If you'd have done that, you'd have saved like 6-7 questions probably.
Yeah.
It's just one of those. Like it's I suppose the more and more of these we do, the more you learn what to ask.
No, this is
But
true.
it's one of them, yeah. But that was a good one, really good one.
Undefeated.
All considering, I thought that was quite a good one. And he did. He I think he's had 2 models, maybe a few. I know
He's
he used to have an
had 2.
old one in the. It was
Second
like
edition.
Yeah, it was like early edition. But no, good suggestion. Thanks for that ordinary argument. And if you would like to send in your own, guys, I'm on all socials. Don't send it to the guys, obviously, because they'll know what it is. Send it to me. Use my email, wargamingluke@gmail.com. Send it to me there. You can message me in Discord, on Reddit, like people do, on my Facebook, stuff like that. We'd love to have your suggestions in.
Hobby waffle.
I am so tempted at some point to make up a fake email address, send Luke an email, and then guess it like the first question and watch Luke's reaction.
That would be pretty funny, to be fair. But yeah, other than that, guys, I think we're done for this week. So thanks for joining us as always. Before we go, we'll start with you, Ben, this week. Where can we find you, my friend?
You can find me over on my channel. I'm at 90% Geek over on YouTube, and I'm also there on Twitter and on Instagram and all the other kind of social media places. And if you go and check out both my Twitter and Instagram at the moment, then you'll see pictures of the Space Marine strike cruisers that I've been painting. And if you tune into my YouTube channel, I'm going to be doing yet more stuff on Blood Angels for later this week, because I've got more to say on the subject.
Sounds good. And Si?
Yeah, you can find me still undefeated on YouTube as Hobby Waffle. And also on sorry, I couldn't resist that. And on Instagram and Twitter as Hobby Waffle as well. I've just done a video today actually on the Blood Angels releases.
Oh, cool.
Just going over everything we've seen, having a look at the upgrade sprues, and then speculating a little bit on what we might see coming more as well for Blood Angels, especially with the hint about gold stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
that's where I'll be.
Indeed. And for me, guys, you can find me on all social media as They're Undefeated, or at They're Undefeated. No, I'm joking. That's at Wargaming Luke on all social media. Or join us on the Discord. That's where I like to chat most of the time now, to be honest. So until next time, guys, as always, happy wargaming. See you guys.
Bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye.